Okay, so we've got a fascinating deep dive for you today.
Yeah, this one is really interesting.
Yeah, it's all about AI and specifically how it's going to transform call centers, particularly in Zimbabwe.
Right, we got sent a few articles on that,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're pretty wild.
Honestly, some of this stuff is just mind-blowing. Like, I had no idea that this technology had already come this far. Like, you can use OpenAI's new voice mode for call centers right now.
It's moving so fast.
It's crazy. And the cost is going to floor you.
Oh, yeah.
It's currently like $18 an hour to have an AI call center agent powered by OpenAI,
Okay.
but they're saying that price is going to completely tank in the next 6 months.
Wow, that is really going to change things.
Yeah, and it's not even just about the cost savings. It's about this fundamental shift in how we think about customer service.
Right, like imagine calling a company
Yeah.
and actually getting consistent and accurate answers to your questions like 24/7 without ever having to wait on hold.
Oh my gosh.
That's the kind of future that we're looking at.
Sign me up, right? No more bad hold music.
Exactly.
But, okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. One of these articles actually profiled a company called ZimWorx.
Okay.
They're based in Zimbabwe, and they have a lot of call center employees.
Right.
So what happens to those jobs when AI can do it all?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, and I'll give you a hint. The article doesn't really sugarcoat it.
Oh, no.
They say that, yeah, this is going to displace a lot of workers, especially in those entry-level positions.
I mean, that's the thing that really struck me when I was reading these articles.
Yeah.
Like, these entry-level jobs, they're often seen as a stepping stone, right? So if those opportunities start disappearing, it's not just about the individuals who are losing their jobs, right? Then it's about the ripple effect on the entire community.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this conversation so important.
Yeah.
Right now, we can't just bury our heads in the sand.
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge that people are anxious about this,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. But we also need to be talking about how we can harness this technology for good.
Because it's not going away.
Exactly. Ignoring AI at this point.
Right.
It would be like ignoring a pride of lions headed straight for, your picnic basket.
Like you said, we got to have this conversation.
We do.
Yeah.
Because the reality is if companies like ZimWorx, they don't adapt.
Yeah.
If they don't embrace AI, they risk being left behind.
Yeah. So, okay, let's say I'm the CEO of ZimWorx. I'm reading these articles. I'm listening to this deep dive, and I'm thinking, oh boy, this AI thing sounds like a tidal wave.
Sure.
What are my first moves? What can I actually do to get ahead of this?
Well, the first thing is you got to acknowledge that it's here, like AI, it's not going anywhere.
Okay.
It's here to stay. The next step is figuring out how to integrate it, how to use it strategically.
Give me some specifics.
Okay, so one option is to adopt what's called a hybrid model.
A hybrid model. Okay, tell me more. I like the sound of that.
So imagine this, AI handling all the routine queries, right?
Yeah.
So like password resets, checking account, balances all those frequently asked questions.
Yeah. Okay.
And that frees up your human agents to tackle the more complex issues, the stuff that requires empathy and creativity and, that human touch.
So it's not about AI replacing humans altogether. It's about them working together.
Exactly.
Like a high-tech sidekick.
I like that, yeah. It's about playing to the strengths of both.
Yeah.
AI can handle the repetitive tasks quickly and accurately, and humans can focus on building relationships and solving those really tricky problems that require, a more nuanced approach.
That makes a lot of sense. But wouldn't that require like a whole new skill set for these human agents? That makes a lot of sense. But wouldn't that require like a whole new skill set for these human agents?
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
not just about like picking up the phone and reading from a script anymore.
Right.
As AI takes on these more routine tasks, the really valuable skills are going to be things like complex problem solving, critical thinking, emotional intelligence.
So are we talking like coding boot camps for call center workers now?
Yeah. Well, coding is definitely becoming more and more important in basically every field these days.
Yeah.
And customer service is no exception. I mean, even just understanding the basics of how AI works can be incredibly helpful for anyone who's managing these systems or even just working alongside them.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned emotional intelligence. It's kind of funny, right? We're talking about artificial intelligence,
Right.
but it's actually those uniquely human skills that are going to be even more in demand.
It's true. Think about it. AI might be able to handle a simple refund request.
Yeah.
But what happens when a customer has a really complicated issue or something that's really emotionally charged? That's where humans come in. You need empathy, understanding the ability to navigate those really nuanced situations.
So it's not just about training people to work with machines.
Right.
It's about training them to tap into those things that make us human. Creativity, adaptability, communication, problem solving. And honestly, those are valuable skills in any profession.
Absolutely. And the article actually highlighted a few specific areas where ZimWorx and companies like them could focus their training efforts.
Like what?
For example, training agents to really understand and analyze the data that's coming from these AI interactions.
Okay.
They can help them identify patterns in customer behavior, maybe even personalize the service in ways that wouldn't be possible without AI.
So it's using AI as a tool to enhance those human capabilities, not replace them entirely. But let's be real for a second. This all sounds like a massive undertaking.
It is a big change.
So where does the support for this kind of transformation come from? Like, is it up to individuals to figure this out on their own? Or do governments and institutions have a role to play here?
That's a really important question. And the article emphasizes that this needs to be a collaborative approach.
Okay.
Think of it like a three-legged stool, okay?
Okay.
You've got individuals, you've got companies, and then you've got government and educational institutions.
Gotcha.
And each leg needs to be strong to support the weight of this transition.
Okay, I like that analogy. So how do we make sure that all three legs are strong enough? Let's start with the government. What can they do?
Well, they have a lot of power to set the stage for success here. Investing in really robust and accessible education and training programs is a big one. Think apprenticeships in AI-related fields, retraining programs for workers who might be displaced. Even public awareness campaigns could be helpful.
To like demystify AI a little?
Exactly.
Show people the potential benefits?
It's about creating a safety net, but also building a ladder
I like that.
so that people can reach those new opportunities. And that's where educational institutions come in.
Okay.
They're the ones who are responsible for making sure that people have the skills they need for this new world. And obviously that means incorporating more technology into the classroom.
Right.
But it's not just about teaching people to code. It's about cultivating those uniquely human skills we were just talking about. Critical thinking, communication,
Right.
collaboration, problem solving, all of that.
So it's not just about preparing students for their first job, right?
It's about preparing them for their 5th job, their 10th job, even jobs that don't exist yet.
Exactly. It's a pretty exciting time to be alive,
Yeah.
even if it's a little bit daunting. The article talked about how these advancements in AI are really challenging us to rethink the very fabric of our society.
And speaking of rethinking things, one of the articles mentioned something that really caught my eye. It was talking about how these changes in Zimbabwe could actually flip the script on traditional outsourcing models.
Oh, how so?
So instead of being seen as just a source of low-cost labor, Zimbabwe could actually become a hub for AI innovation and expertise.
That's a fascinating point, and it really speaks to how transformative this technology could be. I mean, we often think of AI as this thing that's going to automate us out of existence.
Right. But what if it actually creates new opportunities? New industries even. New ways of working that we haven't even imagined yet.
That's a much more hopeful way to look at it.
It's all about perspective, right?
Yeah.
We can choose to be afraid of the unknown, or we can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth and innovation and progress.
I know what I choose. But let's be real, even with all this talk about opportunity, there's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding AI. I know what I choose, but let's be real, even with all this talk about opportunity, there's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding AI. It's like we're standing on the edge of this whole new world.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Right.
And also a little bit terrifying at the same time.
Totally. And the fact that it feels like we actually get to help decide what it looks like,
Right.
that's both empowering and also kind of a heavy responsibility.
Absolutely, and it highlights why it's so important to be having these conversations.
Yeah.
Move beyond just the hype and the fear-mongering.
Right.
And really think critically about the choices that we're making today.
Yeah.
Because those choices are going to shape what the future looks like.
So what can our listener out there, what can any of us do? Because it's easy to feel kind of overwhelmed by all of this, right? Like it's too big to even wrap our heads around.
You're right, it's easy to feel that way, but the truth is we all have a role to play in this, and it starts with not being passive.
Okay, I like that.
Don't wait for someone else to tell you what the future is going to look like. Go out there and educate yourself.
Yeah.
Learn about AI, what it can do,
Yeah.
how it might impact your life, your work.
Knowledge is power. Right.
Exactly. And don't just read about it.
Yeah.
Get your hands dirty. There's so many resources available now, online free courses, tutorials. You can even try building a simple AI model yourself.
It's amazing what you can do with just a few clicks these days.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And as you're learning, as you're experimenting, ask yourself,
Yeah.
how can I use this?
Yeah.
How can I leverage this technology to my advantage? How can I enhance my own skills,
Yeah.
create new opportunities, maybe even solve a problem in my community?
So it's about being proactive,
Exactly.
not just reactive.
Right.
Be a creator, not just a consumer.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And through it all, don't forget about those uniquely human skills.
Right.
The empathy, the creativity, the critical thinking. If anything, those qualities are going to become even more important as AI becomes more prevalent in our lives.
It's so much bigger than just robots and algorithms, isn't it?
It really is.
It's about how we adapt as a society, how we learn, how we work together to create a future that actually works for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
The future of AI, it's not predetermined.
Yeah.
It's being written right now by all of us.
Yeah.
The choices that we're making today, they're going to determine what that future looks like.
So to our listener out there, whatever you do,
Yeah,
pay attention,
stay curious,
get involved, and help us shape the future of AI.
because it's the future of all of us.
That's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.